Pop's Bridge by Bunting. My pop is building the Golden Gate Bridge. Almost every day after school, Charlie Shue and I go to Fort Point and watch. The bridge will stretch across the bay, from San Francisco to Marin. People say this bridge couldn't be built. Some call it the Impossible Bridge. They say the bay is too deep, the currents are too strong, the winds blowing in from the ocean are too fierce. But I know my pop can do it. Whenever I say he's building the bridge, Mom laughs. There's a crew of more than 1,000 men working on that bridge, Robert, including Charlie's dad. She reminds me.
Charlie's dad?
That's his friend, Charlie. Charlie Shue, remember? So including Charlie's dad. I know that, but I just shrug. To me, it's Pop's bridge. So who do you think Pop is?
I don't know. Their grandpa?
I think it's his dad.
He said it's his pop. Whoa.
Some people call their dad Pops. Pop's a high iron man, balancing on the slatted catwalks, spinning and bending the cables. He climbs so high that sometimes clouds come down around his shoulders. When the fog rolls in, he disappears completely. That's why the high iron men are called skywalkers. Charlie's dad is a painter. The painters start work long before the bridge is even finished. My pop says if it weren't for them, the bridge would rust away. But I think he's just saying that to be nice. The skywalkers have the most important job of all. See? Did you know that they paint the bridge before it's even done?
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I knew that.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you know that it keeps the rust from building up? Cool. At Fort Point, I look for Pop through the binoculars that Mom lends me. The workers look alike in their overalls and swabby hats, but I can always find my Pop because of the red kerchief that he ties at his throat. It's our own little scarlet signal. I don't worry much about him on days when the sun sparkles on the water, when sailboats skim below. It's so beautiful I can forget that it's dangerous too. But when the wind blows through the Golden Gate, the men cling to the girders like caterpillars on a branch. On foggy days, my hands sweat on the binoculars. Where is he? When I want to find him, I try not to look away, as though the force of my eyes can keep him from falling. So do you think building a bridge that big is dangerous?
Well, actually, yes.
Yeah, it is dangerous, huh? At my house, Charlie and I work on jigsaw puzzles that Mom bought us. When it's done, it will show how an artist thinks the bridge will look. Charlie and I work on the puzzle almost every day. Bending over it, I feel like I'm building the real thing along with Pop. I'm a Skywalker too. We're almost done, Charlie says. I wonder which one of us will put in the last piece. I shrug. But what he says makes me think. My Pop built that bridge. He should set the last puzzle piece in place. That's only fair. Even though Charlie might think that his dad should do it, when Charlie isn't looking, I slip one of the pieces into my pocket. Later, I hide it in my room. I'm saving it for Pop.
It's gonna get lost, I bet.
What's the picture? He took one piece of the puzzle. Where's he putting it?
In his pocket.
Yeah. Charlie wasn't looking, so he put it in his pocket. He's going to save it for his dad, Pop. The Impossible Bridge is nearly finished. One evening, Mom and Pop and I walk down to Fort Point. The bridge hangs between the stars and the sea. It's like a giant harp, my Pop says. A harp for the angels to play. I look up at him, and I can tell this wasn't just a job to my Pop. He loves that bridge.
I think there's 3 of these things that are hanging up.
No, just 2.
Oh.
Very cool. In San Francisco, there's great excitement. Everyone is waiting for the opening day. Charlie and I have watched nearly every bit of the bridge go up. We saw the two spans come together from opposite directions. We saw them meet in the middle. We saw the roadway go in, and my pop did it. No one can be as proud as I am, not even Charlie. After all, my dad is a Skywalker. So what do you think a pop is? Do you think a pop is a dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there he calls him dad. Other places he says pop. Huh. Yep. And then one day, something terrible happens. Charlie and I are watching as the scaffolding pulls away from the bridge. There's a noise like a train wreck as the scaffolding crashes down into the safety net. The net tears loose and men go with it, go with it into the swirling tide. I can't breathe. I can't think. But then I look hard through the binoculars and I see Pop still on the bridge. His red kerchief was whipping. "Pop!" I whisper in relief. Beside me, Charlie is screaming, "Where's my dad? Where's my dad?" We had seen him working close to that scaffolding. I can't see him now.
Oh, I think that's a tornado.
No, that's the safety net. And the scaffolding fell down.
What's a scaffolding?
It's like metal steps and ladders that you can climb to get up places really high.
Oh.
We'll find him, I promise. We have to. I sweep the binoculars up and down the bridge cables, looking at every painter hanging high on his Jacob's ladder, or swinging in his boatswain's chair like a knot on a rope. "Be there, Mr. Shoe, be there," I plead, and then I spot him. "Over by that cross girder," I yell. Charlie fumbles for the binoculars. I help him. He looks where I point. "He's there! He's safe!" Charlie gasps. The next day, we find out that only 2 of the 12 men in the water were saved. Only 2 of the 12? That means what happens to the 10?
They fell in the water.
And then what happened to them?
I think they died.
They died. So 12 people fell in the water and they were only able to save 2. It is a dangerous job, huh? Whew. I think and think and think about that day. At night, half asleep, I see the bridge shake and I hear the crash. One of those men in the water could have been Pop. Or Charlie's dad. I finally understand, and I feel ashamed. Equal work, equal danger for Skywalkers and for painters. Yeah. So who's more important? I think they're all very important. Huh? Yeah.
Well, the bridge is probably a little bit more important of the paint, right?
Well, he's talking about more important on who's working on it. Who's more important, the painters or the builders?
Oh, yeah.
They all record. The bridge has to be made by all of them. So nobody's more important.
I bet that guy...
The work goes on. A new safety net is put in place. Pop says there's less talking and joking now among the men. There's a remembering. But the bridge must be finished. And at last it is. We watch through Mom's binoculars as the golden spike is drilled in at the center of this main span. Now the celebration can begin. That's the last main spike. Once that goes in, bridge is done. On opening day, no cars are allowed. Thousands of people walk and dance and roller skate across the bridge, including us. I wear Pop's kerchief. That's called a kerchief. I wear Pop's kerchief around my neck. There's a man riding a unicycle. There's another on stilts. Navy biplanes fly above the great steel towers. Battleships and cruisers sail below the bridge and into the San Francisco Bay. Wind strums its music through the stretch of the cables, and I think of my Pop's harp. That night, our family has our own little party with Charlie and his dad. There's stewed chicken and a Chinese noodle dish Charlie's dad made, and a snickerdoodle pie. I've never had snickerdoodle pie. Have you had snickerdoodle pie?
I think that's the pie.
No. Pie is what you eat. That's a puzzle. The jigsaw puzzle sits on the coffee table with a gap in the middle. There's the gap. I've searched and searched for that missing piece, my mother says. A good thing we didn't leave our bridge with a space like that, Mr. Shoes says, and Pop chuckles. We'd still be working on it. It's time. I slip upstairs to get the hidden puzzle piece. Then I find the scissors, and I cut the piece carefully in half. I go back down, and I put a half of piece in Mr. Shoe's hand, and I put the other half in Pop's. Finish it, I say. It's your bridge, and it belongs to both of you. That was nice, huh?
Wait. Oh, I thought you missed the page.
My mother raises her eyebrows, and Charlie says, Hey, where? But I just watch as the two pieces fit in, so perfectly, so smoothly. Team effort, my pop says. Team effort. That means we worked together, huh? We raise our glasses of sarsaparilla to celebrate the laborers and the riveters, the carpenters and the painters and the skywalkers. All the men who worked together to build the most beautiful bridge in the world. It is a beautiful bridge, huh?
Yeah.
And then there's even a little part that talks about the bridge. The end. Good book, huh?
And, yep.
And now it's time for bed.